I'm here at the Walden Galleria, where I just saw John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. And I happen to be in a lot. And the reason for that is because this is a lot of critics. This is the third movie in a series of incredible action movies that have been each one better than the last. So the question is, does this one live up to the hype? Is this one as good or better than the ones that came before it? Yes. Yes, it is. But this is a strange thing to talk about because these movies exist on a different plane. And to say that one is actually better than the others feels like it doesn't do justice because none of them are bad. None of them are even flawed. They're all such perfect examples of action filmmaking that they stand equal above almost everything else. And I am continually impressed in a way that I have a hard time describing because I never thought I'd get to see movies like this. I've been a fan of action films for so many years. I used to rent VHS tapes of anything I could find, Hong Kong action, Japanese Yakuza flicks. I love it. I've always loved it, and I've always looked for like the next thing because these types of movies, what do they have? They have their action, and people like Jackie Chan know I need to do something better than I did last time. I need to do something more interesting, and so he pushes himself. Jet Li, same thing. They saw me do these acrobatic moves. What can I do the next time? And now, this is what we have with the John Wick series. We have a legendary, an absolute legendary series of films right now that I get to see in a theater, and it's incredible because I didn't think we'd get this. I was maybe 5 minutes into this movie before I had my first what moment, and then 5 minutes later it was a wow. 10 minutes in, I'm starting to get used to it because it just keeps throwing things at you that I gotta give huge credit to Chad Stahelski, the director of these. He started out as Keanu Reeves' stuntman in the Matrix films, and Keanu Reeves personally chose him to helm these features. He is as much a part of John Wick as Keanu Reeves himself is. And what they've created and the consistency that they've created with these films is flawless. They feel like giant TV episodes that link one into the next, and the storytelling, besides just the action, is incredibly impressive. It's not just something you go to and you're like, oh, they're fighting, and they're killing each other, whatever. You're intrigued by the world. You're fascinated by the stories. You want to know more about these characters, and it gives you just enough that you're like, oh, yes, this is great. Like, I do want to know about this, and it pauses between the moments of chaos to get you invested in this world because you care about not only John, but about the people he's fighting. They give his enemies personality. They give his enemies more than just, well, okay, there's a lot of faceless bad guys in there, but there are so many interesting characters in these films. This is less of a review of John Wick 3 and more of a review of all three movies because they are incredible movies and I cannot possibly recommend them highly enough to everyone who enjoys action. You absolutely 100% should go see all three of these movies, and especially this one if you like action movies even a little bit. It is such a crowd pleaser. It is so satisfying. The things that they do are just fantastic. For me, these movies are more than just movies. These are really events. These are just such special treats that going into this, I didn't even doubt that it was going to be great. I knew it was going to be great. I didn't have to look at the reviews. I didn't have to watch the trailers. I didn't need any of that because I knew in my heart that this was going to be fantastic. And it was. And it left me at a point where I can't wait for the next chapter. I'm so happy and excited that something like this can exist in a way that is so true to the creativity of filmmaking, because we're in an era where there's a lot of disappointments. There's a lot of shows and films that don't live up to the hype, where they leave you disappointed, where they don't quite do everything that you'd hoped for. But that has not happened with this, and I truly believe it never will. As long as this team keeps making these movies, they're all going to be perfect. It's perfect! Go see it! And I will see you next time on A Lot of Critics.